Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
Your guy Tijani who works at
Dennis, thank you.
The guy who is like 20, that guy can hold me like this. Can hold me like this and throw me. He hold you. But because of the opportunity I had to go and hide.
My brother likes
talk to me about your cancellation of the fuel
Okay,
allowance.
you see,
What
first of
exactly
all,
have you cancelled? Operational fuel or what? The one on the pay slips. What exactly have we cancelled? Give us an explanation.
There's on the issue of fuel allowance. You see, the NPP is an interesting party, and for me, when I was listening to Miracles, I was like, what is happening in this country, especially with the New Patriotic Party. When this government took a decision to reduce the number of ministers, they accused us of embarking on a settings agenda. And according to them, it had no serious implication on the national purse. Today, even prior to yesterday, the government again announced the scrapping of e-levy and other associated taxes. They branded that as just for the cameras and settings. When the government decided to embark on its fight against Galamseyers, with every government official being active in that fight, the same MPP accused the government of engaging in settings. But you and I know that undoubtedly the decision of the government to review taxes and also the decision of the government to reduce the number of ministers undoubtedly has a bearing on our management of the public purse prudently, because it simply means that hitherto the amount of money we used to invest in the name of paying for the allowances and salaries of public services have come down. That is not in question.
Yeah.
Today, in line with one of our campaign promises, the government again has decided to do away with allocations in terms of fuel allowances that appointees draw. And that one too is settings. We shouldn't commend the government for that. The government is engaged in another usual politics of settings. What kind of politics did they play that led them to this position they find themselves? They should be asking themselves. So the NDC is not operating using the rule book of the New Patriotic Party that subjected them to that humiliating defeat in the last election.
Yeah.
We know what the good people of this country expect, and we are responding to their expectations. If you continue to disregard and disrespect the demands of the Ghanaian people by referring to it as settings, that is yours to carry. But this government will not budge in terms of our willingness to remain true to the demands of the Ghanaian people. This is not the first time that Ghanaians have complained about the huge cost associated with fuel allowances to our political appointees. Why is it that in power, they did not respond to that call? Or no attempt was made by them to respond to that call. The attempt by this administration to respond to that call in itself demonstrates respect to the good people of this country. That ought to be commended. So the challenge now is for successive governments to be able to perfect the system and ensure that this becomes a system that we can all be proud of. And so when we say we are taking allowances, if you take their salaries, a chunk of these political appointees, in one way or the other, are paid monthly fuel allowances as part of their monthly salaries.
No, it's false. It's false. It's not true.
I said
no,
men.
it's not true.
Please,
No, none.
No.
It's not
Are you
true.
the host?
It's not true.
So what,
Are you the host?
Dennis, you are saying it's not true because during your time, the payments never came.
Okay, so maybe there's. Okay, that's
So
fine.
you see, sometimes
perhaps-
it's
So maybe
difficult
this.
to understand.
Right. You don't create a problem and fix
No,
it until you upload it.
wait.
Very
Are
well. You
you the
allow
host?
him to
You don't like this, and if I do
Allow
this
him
to you,
to
don't
I
complain.
apologize.
If I do it to you,
I
don't complain.
apologize. I
You
apologize.
see, first of all, it is not true. Go and take. We're in this country. When a young lady appointed by Nanado to head, what's the name of the Ghana State Insurance Company?
SIC.
SIC. Did you see her entitlements? Didn't you see fuel? Was she appointed by this government? So where is this lie coming from? That as part of their benefits, they are not entitled to fuel. Their
Well, he
salaries.
did mention that it's in the conditions of service.
But what
That
am I
it was
talking
never
about? I'm
paid.
talking about their entitlements, their salaries.
Yeah.
So where is that coming from? What kind of lies do we take pride in peddling? So this has been the norm. Many of them are entitled to it. And so if government takes a decision that it is not going to pay these allowances, why are you seeking to create an impression as though that government is deceiving the people? That's one. Because you did it under you. Secondly, if you go to many state agencies, they have a fuel impress. So there's the tendency for appointees who benefit in one way or the other in terms of fuel allowances. Remember that if you are a member of parliament, I don't know how they handled it, but you either elect to still be on your salaries as a member of parliament or accept one if you are also a minister of state. And if you look at the conditions of service of members of parliament as part of their monthly emoluments, a component is calculated for their fuel. Is that not the case? So if you are appointed as a minister of state and you are benefiting from those as a minister, yet still the ministry which you preside over also has an impress dedicated to the civil service for fuel purposes. At the Ministry of Roads and Highways, one of the challenges we faced in 2016 was because of the high cost of fuel impress at that ministry, before 2016 rather. So now, the civil servants themselves, out of the impress created for them, will make an allocation to the ministers and deputy ministers, despite the fact that in terms of their salaries, there's already an inbuilt of fuel.
So there's a component in the salary.
If you remember, you see.
No, but Hamza, why are you doing this? This is for public record. I'm sorry if I can get
No, don't do this.
Okay, then hold on. When I come to you, then
I'm just giving you an example of the cost component of the MPs.
Right.
Are they not entitled to fuel as part of their cost build-up of salaries? Are they not those appointed as ministers and deputy ministers in most cases per the constitutional injunction? That is one aspect of it. So I'm telling you that if you take all that into consideration, such people who emanate from parliament and elect maybe to be still on their parliamentary emoluments would be getting double in terms of fuel allocations.
Right.
Because they can also dwell on the ministry's impress meant for the running of the ministries for the ministers or deputy ministers. That's one aspect of it. He made references to the likes of Joyce Barr. What the presidency is simply saying is that, look, if you are an appointee and you are paid, just like every civil servant in this country, find a way of using your salary to cater for your transportation when it comes to the fuel cost.
Which of your transportations? Transportation to do official work?
But what are we talking about? If it is about private work, government already doesn't pay for private work of those people, of appointees.
So in this case, the government is asking
fuel,
of its appointees to sacrifice.
No, you see, not necessarily sacrifice. The government is cutting waste because government considers it waste. You are paying civil servants who drive from home to their offices a monthly salary. They find ways of catering with that meager salaries that they are entitled to when it comes to their transportation cost. As a political appointee who probably will even receive more in terms of salaries, find a way of managing your fuel demands too. Is that too difficult to ask?
So if we have to move from the ministry to say Elubo for
I was a
official
special
duty.
assistant at Ministry of Roads and Highways. Indeed, I never, the records will show, I never went for any fuel coupon. Even as a board member of Ghana Road Fund, I never went for it.
But was a component calculated in your salary?
Yes, because I could pay for it. I don't know at the time that whether it was part of my salary or not. That I must concede. Because I was not entitled to salary.
Right.
Mine was allowance
Very well.
for being a board member.
Very well.
So, but I never went for it as a matter of principle. Because I thought I could afford it. So what the presidency is simply saying that, look, as part of your benefits, when it comes to the fuel cost, find a way of accommodating it. And it is not true that wherever His Excellency President Mahama goes, all those who work at the presidency go with him, or the likes of Joyce Barr go with him. So if you are making an example by saying that if the president is driving to Kaswa today and Joyce Barr comes out, Joyce Bauer would naturally benefit from the presidential pool.
I think that effectively what he's trying to say is that the team that follows the president along for his official duties will ultimately benefit from fuel from the presidential
That
pool.
is not accurate. And that's the point
Is it
I'm making.
not?
I have followed a presidential convoy before. And my fuel was not sponsored by the presidency.
In your official capacity.
Yes, in 2016, in official capacity.
That's what.
As a staff of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. As a member, what's the name?
Or a member of the road fund.
Yes. It was not funded by. You understand? And I know, I have heard complaints, especially under His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, where even people who work at the presidency complain that they have not even been allocated state vehicles. And as we speak today, there are many presidential staffers who don't have presidential, who are not allocated state vehicles.
Maybe
you need
wrap
to
up
check.
for me so
And
I
you
can come to engineer.
I can give you names
Yeah.
of presidential staffers today who are not even allocated presidential vehicles at the Flagstaff, at the Jubilee House, under President Mahama. So if President Mahama says that he is cutting out these allowances, your duty as an opposition party
Sad.
is to demand or follow through to ensure that he lives up to that promise and not to begin to speak down on the policy even before he takes flight.
It's a shame.
I would have been listening to my brother if he was able to let me understand that, look, President Mahama gave the announcement yesterday, and as of today, this is the amount of money that they have drawn as political appointees.
Yourself, you don't know how much it even cost.
You understand? And so that is another legitimate demand, in all honesty. Because I am also interested. I think that it is in the interest of this government. And unlike you, I concede. It is another legitimate demand. It is not enough for the presidency to announce. Yes, the presidency should announce.
That's what we're
yes, the presidency should announce the amounts that we used to spend on monthly basis when it comes to these fuel allowances.
The number of people
and so
who
let us
qualify,
know exactly
how much they're entitled to
yes,
monthly,
and let us
and how much
know
it
the
costs
amount
us.
involved in terms of savings. As far as scrapping of this policy is concerned, it is important.
That's where the
and
real
I
effect
fully,
will be.
and I fully agree with them. Because that is what the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised. And I can assure him that if he is actually living up to his dictates, to the true dictates of being in opposition, then he should be interested in following this policy through and policing it to ensure that His Excellency
Thank you,
does not
There's no
violate that
policy.
promise.
They are
Thank you.
insulting our intelligence. There's no
I'll come
policy.
to you.
Everything
Engineer,
is settings
final
to
take
you.
on this.
But
Everything is
Would you like to
settings to
comment on
I'll
Abu
give you that
Kuma?
sentence.
As for
Let's
you know, my take on Ablekuma is just that I think that our political actors need to be very sincere with us as a people on all parts. But going beyond Ablekuma, what I suggest strongly is that
Hamza, please. Engineer,
we have another election coming up, which is going to be Akwetia.
Akwetia.
And I think that at this point in time, it is within the authority of NDC to offer an olive branch. Look, because if we continue in this way, this country is going to burn.
Right.
Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. Now people are targeting the political appointees themselves, government officials, because the people we are calling tags, they are human beings.
Yeah.
They are our brothers and sisters. And Miracles is saying he wants 10 behind him. He should go and call his family members and pay them. Let's get real.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah, he wants 10 behind him
said
when he's
that.
going. You see, we
You
need to
engage
be
in that
careful.
kind of politics, Miracle.
We should be careful
Hamza,
that
please.
the people
Unbelievable.
we are alleging.
Engineer, please hold on. Be fair to me. What did I say?
You said that you want to.
No. I
Let
said
me
that. No, let me say it.
That he was going to suggest at the
Exactly.
a committee.
Because
Yes, he was
if,
going to
if,
suggest.
if the police will not be able to
Exactly.
protect them,
Exactly my point. So
then
he
they
said.
will
But
have
what do you want me to do?
protection.
You want me to,
So
you want me to
the
go
point
to
I'm making-
Ablekuma
No, I'm saying
without
that-
police
I'm saying
protection
that
and
go and
allow
call your
them
family
to-
members.
I would actually.
Go and call your family
Those who are
members.
macho, I will add them.
Exactly. Go and
Those
call
who are macho,
You see
I will add
because
them. It is the responsibility of the police to protect
Exactly.
me. And
Very
if the
nice.
police
I have
is refusing
nothing
to do it,
against
what do you
that.
want me to do?
I have nothing against
Very
that.
well,
All I'm
Rocco,
saying
thank
is
you.
that it is important
As a
that
former
we
officer
realize
of
that
the state,
these
Hamza,
are
you have
people-
Hamza,
Those you sent to Ablekuma.
Oh, Dennis.
Those you sent to Ablekuma, not are you not
Dennis.
officers of the state?
advocating
You
for
Dennis.
lawlessness.
Those you sent to
Dennis.
You are
Ablekuma, not.
advocating for
Those you
lawlessness.
sent to Ablekuma, not.
Let's not do this.
Were you
Let's
not
not
a
do
government
I'm not sure
official?
your party will
Those
agree
you sent
with
to
you on this.
Ablekuma, not.
Please, let it be.
Those boys you sent to Ablekuma, not.
Dennis.
Have you arrested them?
Dennis, let it go. Let it go.
Unbelievable.
I will
Engineer.
actually.
So I think that the NDC must look at this issue very seriously and say
They should play with it.
this is the end of it.
Right.
We should see that the government puts in steps, sincere effort towards Akwetia election.
They will not.
That this doesn't happen. You see, because when you talk to the NDC, they say, but it was done to us. When you talk to the MP, they say it was done to us. So it's like a vicious cycle that everybody says, let's continue with it. But I think that at this time, because the NDC is in power, they have the authorities to say, look, let's stop this. Let's end it here. Because I know that in an attempt to deal with even the people who were seen in Ablekuma North, there'll be political fallouts within the NDC itself. And so they are being very careful. But I think that for Akwetia, they should go out there and say, look, the police are in full control.
That's it.
Anybody who comes there and misbehaves must be dealt with according to the law.
That's all.
And I think that this is the greatest opportunity that this government can offer all citizens in terms of the violence that keeps coming up in our electoral cycles. And I think that they should look at it. But on the issue of the issue of the allowance, I think that I'm getting confused by all that has happened around this table. Where we are saying that a government issues a letter to somebody with the terms and conditions of service and says you are entitled to a fuel allowance
and does not pay
it. Then what kind of government are we running? I mean, let's be sincere. That means that our governments are simply playing on people's intelligence. How do you issue a letter to somebody and say you are entitled to fuel allowance but you don't pay it? And the person also sits there and doesn't complain. Then it means that either the people themselves are finding ways to make up for that fuel allowance. I mean, clearly this is not sincere. And I think that we need to deal with that matter. So I think that there's a lot of clarity required on this issue of fuel allowance. Who are affected? Because you can't appoint a CEO to maybe even the SIC and say you are entitled to fuel allowance and not pay it. On what basis?
How is it going to work?
On what basis will you not pay it? So please, I think we need clarity on it because there may be political appointees, but which political appointees are affected by this government directive?
Right.
There needs to be clarity so that it doesn't come out that it's one of those things that the government is throwing out simply to get sympathy from the public and say, oh, we are making efforts at cost saving. I think the government should come out clearly who are affected. And if there are people who could possibly be getting double, benefiting from here and benefiting from here, there must be a clear stop line. Because we're in this country when we're told that some ministers were getting double salaries. That issue hasn't been resolved to date. I mean, we need to clear all these things so that governance can be seen as a process to elevate the life of everybody in this country.
Very well. Dennis, final take.
For me, I want us to deal with the issues. It's quite obvious that Hamza has no iota of idea how these things work. And I'd pardon him on that. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand it. I have the paying slips here. I have paying slips of members of parliament. I have paying slip of a minister of state. I have a paying slip of district chief executive. Like I have them. Nobody receives fuel allowance as part of your salary. Nobody, they don't.
It's not calculated as a component.
No, what is done is that it is paid to you outside your
salary.
So for example,
my goodness,
if you pick a paying slip, you will see on my paying slip the 20% housing allowance.
Right.
That will be there. Then you have all the net effect and then you get your net salary. Fuel is not part. Fuel is not part. The fuel is paid to you outside the salary that is paid you for you to do your work. You see, the bottom line of the conversation we are having is that, and he's being very disingenuous. They are misleading the public.
You think so?
Yesterday, the deputy spokesperson at the president, Shamima, was clear. She's even captured here on GBC. She said that, when it comes to the work, like he said that when the president is moving, you find a way to use your own car to move. It doesn't even make sense in the first place.
I didn't say your own car.
You understand? It doesn't because nobody expects, the president himself, even with this directive, doesn't expect that Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, who is moving with the president to a function, will use her own money to fuel her car. The president doesn't even expect her to do that. So if you come and say that on
What's
TV,
her own money?
You said they should use her salary. Is that not what you said?
But
that's what you said. Right. That's what you said.
Hamza, you have your turn.
You understand? That's what you said. And
I'm
saying that, no, we shouldn't do this to ourselves. We shouldn't. The 80 liters or 120 liters that is captured as part of Joyce Bawa Mokhtari's conditions of service, it's not paid to her as part of her salary. I know that for a fact.
So that is paid independent of the salary?
Yes. Okay. That is why Joyce Bawa Mokhtari gets a book, goes to the depot at the castle to go and draw on that condition.
Right.
That is why the minister at the ministry receives that fuel in coupons or whatever to get his work done. So if today you are saying that that minister is actually going to use his salary to do that work, you are lying. It's a flat lie. And I can bet you, we can verify this a week from now. It's not possible. Yesterday you read TUC. saying that if the government continues, they are going to ground government business. Because do you know how much a minister of state earns? Do you know how much it will cost him to run his vehicle for 1 month to get his work done? What are you talking about? So first of all, it's a lie. Don't even put this out to put yourself into difficulty in the future. You are my friend, and you are a very intelligent person for that matter. You can't compromise yourself in that way just because of politics. Nana, people are going to be given fuel to do their official duties. That is fact. Under this same so-called policy, and that is what it has always been. Nobody is giving any other extra fuel outside what is being given to you to run the week to get your official duties done. So if you come and tell us that you have cancelled fuel allowance, you are expressly telling us that you are no longer giving us fuel to undertake our official duties. Then we ask, how are they going to perform those official duties? Your response is that they should use their salary that they receive to get the work done. The response of Shamima Muslim is that when you are going to do official duty, you raise a memo and you be given for. We are confused. They should come clean. The only reason why this announcement was made yesterday was because of the burden they are bringing onto us today. And I'm sure we'll talk about this briefly before we close. And so when we get there, we'll deal with it.
Very well. Hamza.
You see, first of all, I think that I was very clear. I said that salaries and other entitlements, and that MPs are entitled to fuel allowances. I made that point very clear, including ministers of state, especially those who also double as ministers of state and MPs. So I was very clear.
So is this to bring some sanity in it? Because from what you're saying, that means MPs, you can still draw on fuel as an MP, draw as a minister, and that's double.
But if you do that, it is obviously double.
It might even be triple because then
the
your
conditions of service. You see, but
fuel.
that's why we're talking about double salaries in the past.
Yeah.
You understand? Because people were benefiting as sitting members of parliament, and at the same time, they were benefiting as ministers of state. You understand? So let us understand that distinction. It's very, very important. And for miracles, and that's why I respect Senior Kumri's position on the matter, because he called for us to ensure that we actually see the policy through. He's not saying that it is not true, and it's something that cannot be done. In the dictionary of the NPP, anything that reduces inflow of money into their private pockets cannot be done, in the words of Miracles Aboagye. This government is not interested in things that brings money into our individual pockets as appointees. This is a government that is committed to making sacrifices for the development of this country. So understand where he's coming from, his perspective, because they are not used to that. It is alien to them. It is always about their self-interest and how to preserve same. So when you have a government that has shown commitment and willingness to depart from factors that inures to the benefit of only appointees, they find it so difficult to comprehend. And so in their dictionary, it cannot be done. Our invitation to the good people of this country, especially to the civil society organizations, is to police government on this policy and ensure that indeed we live up to expectation. And COPEC was out yesterday lauding that initiative and also calling for the publishing of the data in terms of the amounts that we are likely to save. And I respect that call. That is where the discussion should focus on. And we must move away from it cannot be done. It cannot be done. It is that mentality that took he and his boss into opposition. And so the NDC will not make that mistake. We will allow him to languish in his own created bubble of it cannot be done and watch us do it, so that he would begin to learn that when it comes to policies and implementation, and when it comes to fidelity to the expectations of the good people of this country, the National Democratic Congress and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama stands tall, because we are doing it. And so they must shut up and learn how it can be done.
Very well. Thank you. A few messages come in, and this one says, good morning. I think Miracles lack understanding of the whole security thing. How Kumsin was on red alert coming from the Kasua incident. He had no business to be there. This is Nii from Bawi. This one says, hello, good morning, Mr. Host. Please tell Miracles Aboagye when Hawa Kumsin was attacking innocent people in Kasua, where was Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. Let's stop the hypocrisy and love Ghana. Well, that is your allegation. This one says, good morning, Nana. I am so glad our president decided to cancel the fuel allowance. I'll be very grateful if he cancels those sitting allowances as well, because those monies are also causing financial stress in the country. However, only the ministers should be allowed to use the allowance for their duties, but MPs should be cancelled. Most of them are annoying us because when business is in session in Parliament, they don't show up and they go and collect those fuel allowances. Master Planner Junior from Kintampo says, great insights by the communications goddess, Miracles Aboagye. Hey, he's calling you communications goddess, Miraculous Miracles Aboagye. President Mohammed's decision to scrap the fuel allowances of his appointees is a good call, but it is one of the PR and for the camera's agenda. Even the code of conduct he launched some months ago is being sidestepped by his appointees. Doomsday levy has started today. Ghanaians are watching closely.
You know he's going for communications, right? We have to pull resources.
That's a good one, and now please, I want to ask: when you're doing your official duty for your station, do you buy your own fuel? Sometimes you people should speak the truth to some of these politicians where they are not telling the truth. Hamza should know there is a tomorrow.
Hamza won't go to heaven. He will not go to heaven. Hamza will not make it to heaven.
On that note, let's go on a break. Let's go on a break at this point. When we come back, we continue. You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily here on ChannelOne TV. We're having the news review segment. Quite an interesting conversation so far. You are invited to be part of the show. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and your contributions. The messages are coming in and coming in fast. I'll take a few more and then we'll move to the issue of illegal mining. The political appointees will have an appointment letter stating fuel allowance, but yet there is a presidential pronouncement cancelling the fuel allowances of all appointees now. Henceforth, no appointee will be given appointment letter with fuel allowance on it again. This is from Jampo. This one says, cancellation of fuel allowances and matters arising were so confusing, especially the explanation given by Shamima Muslim. But she's not on this platform, so we can't hold that. Haj Ahmed from Nima says that. Kojo from Peki said, Miracles is still in campaign mode and could be pardoned. Most appointees have so many items built into their salaries and entitlements, such as house help, gardener, housing, and fuel, yet continue to enjoy the accommodation and official vehicles. Okay, this one is greeting Dennis. He says, good morning to the communicators communicator. Dennis Miracles Aboagye. This one says, please tell that NPP man that the fuel allowances deserve to be cancelled. Are the ministers not paid? What are they using their salaries for? That man is confusing us. Okay. This one says, please, I work with a bank where we are getting fuel allowance added up to our salary. But when we are going out to perform official duty, we have our transport or fuel allowance paid to us. Okay, very well. Let's deal with the issue of illegal mining. The National House of Chiefs is urging government to deal decisively with the menace. The president says Galamsey is now a national emergency. Dennis, speak to us.
Before I come to Galamsey, I mean, it's 8:30. I don't know how many minutes you are giving me, so I can.
I'm giving you 5 minutes for this issue of Galamsey.
Okay. So Nana, we'll talk about the Doomsday levy later.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why His Excellency Muhammad thinks that Galamsey is now an emergency. Is he not the person that in 2024 October was on TV saying that he agrees with the TUC that the president then, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should declare a state of emergency? At that time, was he lying when he created an impression as if it was a national emergency? Or why is he now realizing that it's a national emergency? Was he not the one that said the only reason why Galamsey is thriving in this country is because the president and his people at the Jubilee House are involved? In fact, his cabinet ministers, like Sam George, said that any president worth its salt that is serious about Galamsey can end it in 2 weeks. These are the president, the cabinet ministers' words. Felix Kwacho Fosu said that the only reason why Galamsey is happening everywhere in this country is because the Jubilee House is involved. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, my friend, I mean, she has a view on everything. There's no subject matter that Joyce Bawa Mokhtari didn't make a comment on. Said that Galamsey is not done by anybody apart from government officials, Nana Akufo-Addo and his people. There are probably 1, 2 or 3 reasons why MPP lost power. One of them, chief of them, was Galamsey. These people heightened Galamsey. In fact, for the first time in the history of this country, there was a whole week of demonstration, series of 1 week of demonstration. Professor Jampo used UTAC to blackmail government to the point that 2 weeks to elections, he was agitating that the whole country, the whole trade union, will shut down the country until the government calls for a state of emergency. they told us that the only reason why Galamsey is going on in Ghana is because MPP and the Kufuor's officials are in. Now MPP is out of power. The Jubilee House is no longer occupied by Kufuor and his people. They used to call the Jubilee House Jolobi House. The NDC. They were calling the Jubilee House Jolobi House. Now Kufuor and his people are gone. Why do we still have Galamsey? Is President Mahama engaged in Galamsey? Where is Joyce Bar Mokhtari's concession? Where is Hamza's mining concession? These guys tagged every MPP person a Galamseyer. And we kept telling them, do not politicize Galamsey. Do not politicize Galamsey. Do not politicize. They couldn't care less. Because all they wanted was political power. Today, everybody watching will tell you that Galamsey has tripled in terms of its activity. The government itself is buying gold from the Galamseyers. Yes, go to TikTok. The Galamseyers are now complaining. They are even putting themselves into a labor union, complaining that government is buying their gold at a cheaper rate, and they are not happy. Haven't you seen those videos?
Nana, you can't be quiet and watch.
No, but that is truth. The videos
No,
are there.
I have not seen those videos.
Can I
You
please?
need
Can
to
I
know
please?
better than him. Unless if he
I've not
decides to be
seen that video.
mischievous.
I have not seen that
So
video.
you must
Hence,
state
I
it for the
cannot
sake of
speak-
your listeners and
I cannot
viewers.
speak to it.
So
That's
you
what I'm
must
fine.
question
I
him.
cannot
He has
speak to
taken
it.
30
What
seconds.
evidence does he have to show that the government buys gold from
From
Galamseyers?
I
You
mean,
need to
that's
prove.
an allegation
That's
he
your
is
role.
making.
Okay.
That's an allegation he is making.
You're taking 30 seconds. Can I continue now?
Please
30
continue.
seconds of my
Please
5
continue.
minutes.
But I mean, you should know that the responsibility lies on who
Nana,
alleges to.
yes, but why? I'm coming to speak to it. Nana, these boys that, these days when they are doing Galamsey, they video themselves.
Yeah.
They video themselves. They have videoed themselves. They're receiving a Galamsey TikTok account. There is a Galamsey TikTok account.
But that
Go
does
to-
not suggest that government is buying from them.
You are not doing your work, Nana.
There is a Galamsey TikTok account.
Uh-huh.
These guys are in the pit doing Galamsey. Then they are the same people who come and say, Sami Jamfi, gold no na 12,000 or 8,000. The guys are self-confessing. Why haven't they arrested them? The guys are basically self-confessing that the gold that they mined illegally, which they themselves have a TikTok account. Go to TikTok. Everybody watching me, take TikTok and enter Galamsey. You will see Galamsey account, not one, not two. They have Galamsey TV. Go to TikTok. These same people now have come out to say that the gold that they are captured in the Galamsey pit, that they are selling, they are saying that you go there in a matchbox. They are going small. Then they aggregate it into some quantity, then they sell. They are saying that you are buying it at a cheaper rate.
But that's their allegation. There's no proof.
Arrest
to it.
them. If there is no better evidence than self-confession. Is there any evidence greater than self-confession?
Very well.
So what are you talking about? The guys themselves who are mining the thing, the Galamsey, and selling it are saying that you are buying it at a cheaper rate, said evidence. They are the biggest evidence we can have.
Right.
The president is basically just going through what he sold.
He's
When-
reaping what he sowed in opposition.
Basically, you understand? He's testing. These people, they gave us a lot of medicine. And since they came to office, they've been testing it. But when you are giving it to them, they're complaining. The president is involved in Galamsey. I think so. Because he believed same in opposition. All the people at the presidency, they are all doing Galamsey. Because they said it. My friend, Sami Jamfi, who was the director of communication of the NDC, went to the riverside on River Pra, sat in a
Nana,
boat.
I have a very problem with the way you are moderating.
risk his life.
I need to make a point. Then I give the
Government
opportunity
appointees
to
are
come back.
into Galamsey.
But you don't believe it. I
He-
believe the
just-
president.
No, you should have listened to him.
He's not listening. He's not listening.
He says he wants to believe same because same was said by the NDC in opposition.
That NDC
That is
government appointees are into Galamsey.
Yes.
that is the
Yes.
his. No, he
why-
says
are you not in
MPP
this
appointees were into
Are you not in this
Galamsey
country?
when
but you see,
NDC was in
Nana, I
opposition.
listen to him very well.
You are
Let
taking
him
30 seconds
substantiate
of my
his
time.
claims.
30 seconds of my
You see,
time.
he's concerned about time. And anyway, I'll let him.
Great.
He's wrapping up in 1 minute.
I
His
am
time is
telling
up.
you that the president and all its functionaries in opposition claimed that the only reason why Galamsey was thriving in Ghana was because Nana Akufo-Addo is doing Galamsey and all his government appointees. And I'm saying that with the benefit of hindsight, I believe them. And that is why now Nana Akufo-Addo and his people are off Galamsey and off government. And Mahama and his people are into Galamsey. Because if the president is not into Galamsey, then why is it that Sam George is a cabinet minister and knows how a president can end Galamsey in 2 weeks? And Galamsey has escalated for 6 months like never seen before. Today, go to Koforidua, the Densu River, that when the taxi drivers have overheating, they run and go and fetch water to put in their engine. It's turned into Milo without milk. Densu River, Kofodia Township.
Right.
Go to Osino. In the middle of town, in the Osino market, the woman who is driving Banku, he drives Banku small, then he washes the soil small, looking for gold. It's everywhere.
All right.
The NDC chairman for Upper Dencha East was seen accosting military men and strangling them to death. Why? Because they are fighting Galamsey. Go to Ashanti region. When you are driving from Accra to Kumasi, by the roadside, right in the clear view of the presidency and the government, they are doing Galamsey.
All right, thank you, Dennis.
These people are risking the future and the lives of this country, and they are hiding it under PR and gimmicks.
Thank you.
So the president shouldn't come and announce to us and tell us that Galamsey is now a national emergency. As far back as October, the president was calling for a state of emergency.
Thank you.
So he knew long
Hamza.
time that Galamsey is a national emergency before he came to office. You can't give him my time and then I'll take 30 seconds from his time.
That's why I extended your time. You started at 30. We are actually at 30.
I'll do it. He knows I'll do it.
You see, Nana, this is the tangent he chooses to go on. And when I provide an effective antidote to his baseless propaganda, driven largely by mischief, he says, I won't go to heaven.
Also, he
says, I won't go to heaven. But see, it will not deter us from providing that needed antidote, especially when it comes to his mischief and propaganda.
Please provide.
First of all, Nana, His Excellency President Mahama has always been consistent. Before he became president, he was clear that the issue of Galamsey was a national emergency. Yesterday, he reiterated that point and indicated his government's commitment to ensuring that we nip that in the bud. That is not contradiction. That is not a change in position. That is consistency and acceptance of responsibility as sitting president of the Republic of Ghana.
Lamentation.
Something
Lamentation.
they lacked.
Why are you lamenting?
Dennis, please.
Something they lacked.
You
see, no, but it is expected to ruffle him, so you can allow him. So that is a marked departure. Again, he sits on this platform and calls the legitimate demands of Ghanaian citizens that their government that they gave their mandate to in 2016 and 2020 to deal with the menace of Galamsey, he called it blackmail. So when Ghanaians were up in arms demanding for the government to take action, Dennis Aboagye, spokesperson to the Baumia campaign, is referring to the demands of the Ghanaian people as blackmail. Lecturers in this country stood up. He says they were blackmailing the government. Can you imagine the way the MPP thinks? Little wonder that they took everybody in this country for granted. And they were working on every legitimate human being. As if they owned the universe. That arrogance of power is still continuing to manifest even in opposition.
Fix the Galamsey, fix it.
He sits on this platform and lies through his teeth that the Galamsey menace has degenerated. What statistics does he have to demonstrate that? I can tell you as a matter of fact that hitherto under them, almost all our forests were under siege. Today, we have been able to secure not less than 11, it's not less than 7.
How do you lie like
that?
That
they couldn't even enter. We have secured it back to the state. That is progress. Under this government, our minister responsible for lands and natural resources has also embarked on stakeholder engagement that is now leading to the discovery of hitherto communities that we didn't even know existed under them. Remember the time is it Nimri Forest? Discoveries of large-scale communities. They didn't know. They presided over 8 years and had no inkling, or they decided to bless it by inaction. This government acted and dissolved that entire community. That is progress. That is a show of commitment when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. What did they do? Is it today that Dennis is beginning to realize that river bodies have become milky or more even dirtier than we all knew? Is it today? He was not watching the national television stages. Even ChannelOne and other sister stations on daily basis used to showcase how polluted our water bodies had become. He was spokesperson to the Dr. Mahmoud Baumia campaign. Didn't he see those things? Where was he? And today he goes back to their own legacy of how their inaction and failure and complicity led to the polluting of our water bodies, and he refers to that as polluted water bodies. You think that it happened just in 6 months? You think all that happened in 6 months? That is still the legacy of your complicity and inaction and failure for which you were punished. So the least you can do on this platform is to show sensitivity to the good people of this country and respect and support to this government that has demonstrated its willingness to fight the canker. You've seen on different occasions the minister responsible for lands and natural resources, an interior minister, and the Ashanti regional minister on the grounds arresting Galamseyers, seizing excavators. That is much progress. Reporters who in the past,
seizing excavators and arresting.
Did they bring back 6 forests? Did they retrieve 6 forests?
Actually, you know that Erastus Asaridonko is recording that within this period, 44 forest reserves have been invaded.
This guy
But that is the point I'm making.
And
And then 44 were invaded. We have been able to secure not less than 7 as I speak. Now, currently under government control. And we are still making progress. Did they do anything in that regard? So on what basis are you saying that it has become worse? Simply because of your own partisan affiliation and excitement? Because you want to see
the AG has actually directed Yoko to investigate Yamin and Aboagye.
But you see,
on
that
issues
is
of
also
Galamsey.
another mark of progress. We woke up to newspaper publications that people were accusing them of engaging in illegal manner. What does the responsible government, what do you think a responsible government will do? Especially a government that has indicated that is not willing to shield anybody. Unlike them, you remember under Richard Anani, when a newspaper publication constituted basis of the report on conflict of interest, they fought against it. On the contrary, this government has decided to act on newspaper publications and proceeded to direct our state institutions to investigate these allegations. That is a marked departure and a show of respect to those in the media who are doing their work and sensibility to the citizens of this republic. That is progress. This is not a government that is likely. Yes, I'll do. This is not a government that would take for granted any piece of information, especially when it comes to the fight against corruption, Galamsey and corruption. We will not take it for granted, even if it is coming from Dennis Miracle's Aboagye. That Hamza Suhin is engaged in Galamsey, even without announcing the government, I'm convinced, will investigate me. Unlike them, they provided a cloak of protection for appointees associated with them, from the chief of staff's office to the president's office, including to their party regional structures, where known party executives were engaged in illegal mining. When known presidential staffers, DCs under them, were engaged in illegal mining. This is not the story when it comes to John Dramani Mahama's led administration now. And that is a marked progress. You must be humble enough to learn the humility of this government and its commitment to responding to the legitimate needs of the Ghanaian people. That is the difference between us and you.
Illegal mining, the devastation of natural resources, the water bodies, the forest reserves and all.
I think that I'll plead with my colleagues that in looking at this issue of Galamsey, we shouldn't reduce it to one of a campaign issue or an issue of contest between who did this, who did West. Because what we face now is an existential issue where water bodies are getting polluted. And water is becoming one of the most scarce resources going forward. And we need to set up as a country. But all I've heard around the table this morning is about who did this and who didn't do that. Look, the issue with Galamsey started over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago. It's been going on for quite, and it's growing consistently and becoming more alarming. For instance, we lost Major Mahama. In that whole episode, we were only focused on dealing with the people who were involved in the killing of that man. But the issue itself, we never got to the bottom of it. You know that the MC, when in that area where Mahama was killed, you know the MC came out initially on radio and said, look, he had no idea that there was military presence in his district. What happened? The government immediately removed that MC and sent that MC to Ghana Maritime Authority. What did we do? We didn't go to the bottom and say, what mining activity was Major Mahama protecting? We never bothered to investigate that matter. Was it legal or illegal? So even our own state agencies like the military and police have become agents for hire in illegal mining activities, which governments have not been sincere to deal with. The 2BN commander, Lieutenant Colonel J.N. Honyesi, 2BN, 2017, he was alleged to have been involved in illegal mining. He was removed. What has happened? Who and what activities was he protecting? You see, so our political parties need to set up and begin to be sincere with this issue of Galamsey, because it is an existential issue. We have had Ghana Academy of Arts and Science, UTAG, TUC, everybody saying, look, let us deal with this issue. When the NDC was in opposition, what didn't they say? They said they would ensure the repeal of 2462, LI 2462, which act or LI gave permission for mining in forest reserve.
Yeah.
6 months, 7 months down the line, we haven't heard anything. Our governments need to be consistent, because it is no secret that immediately governments change hand. The NDC, the MPP boys simply say, look, your government has come and take over the Galamsey. It is no secret. So we know that party agents.
You think they passed it on?
We know, exactly, they say they passed on the
baton. Is not going to heaven.
We know that party agent is no secret in this country. That party agents and members are informed.
That is why you are missing heaven.
I clearly engage in
That is why you are missing
Even if
heaven.
that exists, the government must crack the whip. I don't care about who
Let
I'm
Engineer have
to
his day.
And
I don't care about that.
we see the
and I'm
same.
sure His Excellency doesn't care about that.
We see the same
We are not
stories
sure.
coming up
Probably
again.
does.
He doesn't care about that.
No,
President Mahama
Hamza,
is not
please,
interested in any
please,
association,
Dennis.
anything related to
Let's
Galamsey. You
not do
know
this.
it
Then why is he buying from the
Dennis,
Galamseyers?
Dennis.
Who? President Mahama.
Yes.
How does he buy from the
Gold.
Galamseyers?
Why is he buying gold from the
What evidence
Galamseyers?
do we have?
Are you guys having your own conversation or you're having a show?
Oh,
Please, let's not do this.
We are
You're having
sorry.
a show. You're having your own conversation on the side.
We are
Let's
sorry.
do this.
We are sorry.
Beg you.
So
We are sorry.
I think it is a very worrying trend. One, because these stories we are hearing today, during the MPP government, they seized excavators. Then the excavators disappeared. We are hearing the same story with NDC. Excavators were seized, the excavators have disappeared. So clearly, our governments are not showing sincere interest
Not at all.
in dealing with the issue of Galamsey. But I think that the call by the chief recently that the government must deal with it, it's also something we shouldn't ignore. Because this is a chief who sits in the Western region, knows what is happening to his environment, and is saying, look, this is not right. Look, we are in a state where we tend to condemn our old traditional practices. But our traditional authorities knew that you do not pollute water, because water is life.
Yeah.
And therefore, they made clear laws about how to protect our water bodies, how forests around water bodies should not be cut down and issues like that.
Yeah.
But in today's world, where we have all the knowledge about science, technology,
And yet
we are destroying water bodies. The Ghana Water Company has complained about the increasing cost of treating water.
Yeah.
Why are our governments still behaving this way? I think that as citizens, we should become more and more concerned about the sincerity of our governments in dealing with this matter. And we should not just sit aside and watch. We have authorities like the EPA. We have the Minerals Commission. We have the Forestry Commission. And a number of government agencies who are supposed to regulate practices in all these areas. But again, we have tied their arms behind their back, and then governments come up and say, we are setting up committees. Why are we not empowering these government agencies to do their work and bring people to book? Because the setting up of committees just adds cost without additional benefits.
Very well.
We go and buy drones, then tomorrow we do the... I mean, let's be sincere and let's be more constructive about this. At the heart of this issue of Galamsey are issues of unemployment, where communities feel that they are not being fairly treated. They are not getting benefits from the mines within their areas. So we need to look comprehensively at this issue. Go to Aboagye, over 100 years of mining. Go to Takwa. Look at all the places where we have mined historically. There's nothing to show in those towns today. And the people are beginning to feel that, look, government is simply coming here, taking all the wealth to Accra and Kumasi, and we are not being catered for. So we need to sincerely look at this issue and say, look, how do we ensure that the communities from which we are getting all these resources have a better livelihood, so that they can get employment? And these are the things that we need to be looking at. Instead of just going to take the military and say, go and kill these people or go and shoot at them. We need to be careful in dealing with this issue.
Thank you, Engineer. We have just about a few minutes to go, but I want to touch briefly on the 1 CD fuel levy, which takes effect today. Hamza, I'll start from you.
What else do you need about it?
Just let us know the implications thereof, the resistance we have seen.
I think that
ahead.
on this table we have had elaborate discussions on it. But even before I do so, permit me to quickly throw a word of caution to my senior comrade. You see, if we want to adopt a neutral posture, it is also important for us to acknowledge where government is putting in their effort, especially when it comes to the fight against Galamseyers.
Why are you attacking him and trying
I'm
to
not.
tell him
I'm
what to
just
say?
cautioning because our trust is
Dennis,
judgment.
our time is up. Let him land. We have just 1 minute.
No, yes, but that's
Why
what I'm
you
saying. That
directing
is,
him what
I'm
to say?
inviting
Dennis,
him.
thank you.
I'm
No, I'm
inviting him
standing
to
up for a
acknowledge
fellow
the difference
citizen.
because
I
I know within him, regardless of the misgivings that he would have had in terms of how successive governments have handled the issue of Galamsey.
It's the same thing. Mention
he
one new thing.
appreciates-
He doesn't.
he appreciates
There is no
that-
new thing your government has done.
There
with
is
us.
that
Dennis, thank
political
you.
commitment
No, but I'm
on the
standing up
part
for our
of
fellow
this
citizens.
government.
There is
Hamza,
nothing single thing.
Anytime I am speaking,
time
he
is up.
becomes uncomfortable.
Because you
So I
like
can
too much
appreciate
the
it.
issue.
Dennis,
I can pardon
It's
him.
enough.
Who can lie in this
It's
country
enough.
more than
You
you?
want to
Dennis?
comment on one thing?
Who can lie more than Dennis?
Good.
Senior
Our time is up.
comrade,
So
who
let's
can
do
lie
this
more than
real quick and
Dennis?
we can
finish.
go.
Who can lie more than
Hamza,
you?
His time is
So
up.
I see, but fortunately, we are built around the pillars of integrity. So we would not lie. And whatever I tell you on this platform is based on information that I have verified within my ability to do
is
so.
up.
Now, you see, on the issue of the $1 we've made the point clearly, a number of times, we've stated it clearly, that we are having to deal with a bad situation that we've inherited, largely influenced by the inefficiencies, corrupt practices of Dr. Mahmoud Aboagye and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the New Patriotic Party. That has left our energy sector struggling. And so there's the need for us to be able to meet the demands of that sector. And that is why we propose the introduction of this levy. And even in doing so, we still maintain that it does not add to the cost of living as far as the permutations are concerned.
Very well.
Because
Thank you.
fuel prices are relatively lower than we came to meet, and we are trying to take advantage of the process now, especially when it comes to the austerity measures that this government is driving, to ensure that we raise the needed revenue to be able to keep the cost of electricity down. Because if we are able to keep the cost of fuels powering the our generation capacity down, it will have a rippling effect when it comes to the prices
Thank you,
of
Hamza. Thank you,
commodities
Hamza.
as well. And
It
that
was
is what
just
this
1
government is
minute.
committed
Thank
to.
you so
I
much.
hope
Dennis.
that the good people of this country will bear with us and
Thank you,
support
Hamza.
this
Hamza,
government
thank you.
on this journey.
Our time is up.
So that if for
Dennis.
nothing at all, we can together
Are
bring
you
back
ceding your
the
time to
energy
him?
sector and ensure
Dennis.
that the likes of Miracles
Are you
Aboagye
ceding your
and
time?
Gov't
But I'm
do
calling
not
you in.
come anywhere close
Hamza, thank
to
you. Thank you. Thank
the
you.
governance of this country.
Thank
We all
you.
know their track
Thank you,
record.
Hamza.
And you see, but
Thank
Nana,
you.
this is important.
Hamza.
Nana, finally.
Hamza, don't do this. Don't do
You
this.
see,
Don't do this.
you
Don't do
see,
this.
I need to remind you.
Complete
I need
Hamza.
to remind you. Please, I need to remind you.
Let's not do this. I gave you a
of the
minute.
debts
I gave you a
that we
minute.
are having to deal
It
with.
is well known. It is well known. It is well known. Thank you.
That is not fair.
Permit- Thank you. No, we had just a minute. I told you. Dennis. 1 minute. One CD levy. 1 minute.
The only reason why all this drama is happening today in this country
What drama?
is because
What drama are you
the
acting?
government is introducing one city domestic levy. They did all
Master,
the things
go
they
and
are doing
campaign and stop this
with
thing.
PR gimmicks. Let's throw
Go
in
and
this
campaign for a
Galamsey
communications
matter.
officer job.
Let's throw in all these things because today they are coming to burden the Ghanaian people with 4 cedi 50 pesos per gallon, 45,000 cedis, old Ghana cedis. Now you see, let's give this government some time. All these things will catch up with them.
Very well.
These PR gimmicks and
We
all
are not
these
like you
tactics
people.
and all these
Trust me. We are not like you.
scam of things that they are doing. See, this is coming on the back of a 16% increase in electricity. Today, as we speak, Swami traders yesterday were crying that they cannot even run their business. Cement prices is going up. Iron rod prices are going up. Then you come and slap on the people.
His time is up.
The people that you have given just 10% increase.
Thank you.
in
Let's have
salary,
engineer
you come and
give
slap
us
on them.
his thoughts on this. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Thank you.
So just
Thank you.
allow senior
It is
community to
because
speak.
of this 4 cedi.
You see why he says we go to heaven.
Dennis,
That is
Dennis,
the
thank
reason
you.
why
Allow
Thank you.
senior
Thank you.
community to speak.
Engineer, engineer, 1 minute.
interested in
1
whatever
minute.
you are saying.
Dennis,
You
thank
can
you.
bring
Thank
the-
you.
Because they know
Thank
your
you.
track
Let's
record.
have engineer do his
Especially
job.
when it comes to some of these
You
issues.
can bring
He
the
is
land.
actually
They know
complaining.
your track
Thank you.
record, so
Thank
don't
you.
waste time. No,
Hamza, thank you. Engineer, 1 minute, please. It's not fair to engineer. It's not fair to engineer. Let's. Dennis. Dennis.
Drowning in